homeowner Shaun Miller here with Foundation Solutions Group, and today, beneath the surface, we have Carl Walls here, who is this general manager of the Bowling Green Hot Rods. He's the COO, general manager. He's used to the hot weather and the training camps and the long seasons and the ups and the downs in the sports world. So, but a beautiful park that is located right here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and we're so proud to have them. And they are great entertainers and great community contributors across all levels. And we're going to turn it over to Kevin and find out how he got to where he's at and how long he's been doing it, and any tips he can give us about good seats at the park, whatever the case may be. So how did you get to where you're at?
So I started with the team in 2014 as an intern.
Yes.
I was going to school at Western Kentucky University as a sports management major.
Oh, wow.
And needed an internship to graduate the program, which is 400 hour class.
Yeah.
And saw that we had an opportunity right here in Bowling Green.
Right.
Originally from Louisville,
right.
Short distance, so came to school at Western, and I got my internship with the Hot Rods, doing a lot of different things, rotating each department each 2 weeks, and really getting the hands-on experience.
Oh, wow. So you got the whole bicycle wheel experience.
So from ticket sales to marketing to stadium operations, to even helping on the grounds crew.
Right.
Really, it was an internship designed to kind of figure out what you wanted to do in sport, and get experience and help out the team there. So
great exposure. So I know another individual, which is Mary's stepson to me, and he same thing, LSU. Got that different exposure, different sports and whatnot, volleyball, what have you. So was baseball your choice, or did you play baseball, or any sports? Didn't matter?
So I was looking really at the time to, just get an internship to hopefully finish my credit hours at the time. And I played baseball growing up till about 8th grade.
Right.
I was always a football, basketball guy.
Wow.
Played a lot of sports in high school in Louisville, and, got involved with this and really kind of enjoyed the atmosphere of the ballpark itself, and where no day was the same. So it wasn't very monotonous, and it was a very good experience. And then when it worked out, my internship finished, that went home for a couple months and got a call from, at the time he was director of sales and ended up being my boss, but Eric Leach.
Yes.
And offered me an opportunity to come on as a seasonal account executive in ticket sales.
So Eric opened a restaurant, and I was talking to Mary, and I said, I was going to have Eric Leach on the show. I said, is that bad? If we have Kyle there too. She was like, Shaun, they're still friends. It's not like they, but he took a different path, and she said Kyle got a promotion so that was true. You took his place.
Yeah. So, kind of fast forwarding, climbing the ranks in the sales, from box office to director of sales, then assistant general manager, and then general manager, and now COO once he left. And been a great mentor for me, done a lot for me in the industry, connected me with a lot of individuals. Him and Adam Noose, who's now with the Titans. He was actually the one that hired me as an intern. Was working at a liquor store here in town during college, just trying to pay some bills, and he came in and
trying to get a good deal on beer.
And he introduced himself, and I told him I applied for an internship, and he said, "Well, you're hired."
Wow.
And been with the team for now 12 years. So
12 years.
It's been a fun ride.
Unheard of in today's world. Everybody wants to switch jobs and go somewhere and do something different, that kind of thing. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
But it paid off for you, hopefully. So what do you want to do? You want to own your own stadium one day?
Eventually, a long time down the line.
It's big business, isn't it?
Career wise, I'd love to see myself in, I love Bowling Green. I love it here.
Right.
Love to see this community and the team continue to grow. And then, eventually down the line, running a AAA team would be the ideal end goal. So,
the Hot Rod and this ballpark, I mean, they are so engaged. We've done a trick or treat there, trick or treaters that were just several businesses stand up, and I'm amazed at how plugged in you guys are to be. I just had no idea. It's kind of like they're in the entertainment business too, but they're just so engaged with the community. Then so many different functions that you guys do, like Faith Night. I saw that commercial this week, and just different things that you got to do. So that's awesome. I mean, who comes up with all these ideas?
That's the great thing about working in minor league baseball. It's not just baseball.
Right.
It's the family fun entertainment that you can have at the ballpark, the different theme nights and promotions. So we have 66 home games, and probably of those 66, probably have another like 47 theme nights around those games.
Right.
So we're not selling just baseball. It's the experience that you can have at the ballpark.
Right.
When I got there in 2014, we were running 4 special events, and now we're over 120 special events on top of the 66 baseball games.
They were running 4 special events?
4 special events, and we've really kind of expanded that. Obviously, some renovations along the line allows us to capitalize on those.
Right.
And, it's anywhere from charity walks to college, high school games to movie nights to the trick or treat.
Yeah.
To, down to, any really kind of event, concerts. That's a great thing about the ballpark is possibilities are endless there. So
funny story, if you're a viewer out there and you remember this story, who was the country music star? He died.
Toby Keith.
Toby Keith.
Yeah.
So we're at a Toby Keith concert, and there was a funny smell out in the audience. I'll just put it like that. And Mary was beside me, and she didn't want to smell it. She said, like, "Gosh, what is that smell?" And I'm like, "I think it's weed, babe." And she's like, "Weed?"
Yeah.
So I looked over at the guy and I tapped him on the shoulder. I was like, I'm a state trooper, don't you? And he's like, no. And Mary was like, like that. Well, Mary, I thought she was going to bust out laughing.
Yeah.
That guy put that thing out and he told all of his friends not to do anything. And then so later in the concert, Toby Keith was like, we just want to pay tribute to all the first responders, police officers, and all that. All these guys turned around and they saluted me. Mary thought that was the funniest thing in the world. It took everything we had not to crack a smile, but I was just having fun with them, And they were probably a third of my age. But anyway, I got a shaved head. They were like, you look like a state trooper. So I was just messing with him, but she didn't want to smell it. So it took care of the whole situation.
Yeah.
But that was a great event. A lot of people.
Really, it was.
Wow.
And so we've hosted, probably close to 5 to 7 concerts at the ballpark. First one was in 2014 with Florida Georgia Line and Nelly. Right. Obviously got them at the right time. We had 13,000 fans in the ballpark.
Wow.
And, we've hosted Toby Keith, Jake Owen, Leonard Skinner, ZZ Top, Ted Nugent, a lot of different acts over the years, and even down to some smaller ones like Faith and Family Night with CFR, Christian Family Radio, and a lot of different partners that we utilize throughout the years.
I don't know where I heard the story of the journey that it takes a baseball player, even if you're good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to be a standout to make it to the big leagues, you know. And so the Hot Rod, if I'm correct, help me because I don't know, but they're kind of a farm team for
Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah. And so if this player does well here, then they go to the Tampa Bay Rays. How does that work?
So it's changed since COVID. Previously, there were 7 different levels of minor league baseball before you get to the majors. And so that's a different step along the way of the journey of a minor league baseball player. And now they've really kind of shortened that. They've eliminated 42 teams coming out of COVID. And with that, we transitioned different levels as well. So you have your Tampa Bay Rays, which is your major league club. And then you come down to AAA, which is the Durham Bulls, like the movie Bull Durham.
Right.
And then our AA affiliate is Montgomery Biscuits. And then there's us. And then there's a team below us called the Charleston River Dogs.
Right.
And so when these guys get drafted out of high school or college, they, assign them in the farm system, and you basically elevate your way through. So they'll come from Charleston to us, and then we go to Montgomery. And sometimes, they may skip a level. We've had players go from us to AAA.
Right.
We've also had players go from AA to straight to the majors. Like the recently named All-Star Junior Caminero.
Yeah.
He was within our organization, got moved to, was with us for probably a month and a half, 2 months, and then got moved to Montgomery Biscuits and then really excelled there, and they moved him straight to the majors.
Wow. So what happened that they take a spin? I've heard of people like going overseas to play ball for a while, then they come back. Mm-hmm. Did that start the process all over again?
Yes and no. I mean, it's harder to get back into, the modern baseball here in the States when you do that. But if you have a really good agent, that obviously helps. But teams, they have a farm director is what they call it, that oversees their minor league operation. And then they really kind of pick and choose based on your skill set and, where your development is in your career, which level you should start at. And then they kind of decide from there. Sometimes you may just go straight to the majors. It's really kind of up in the air.
That story that I heard, the guest speaker, I think it was at an event, it was a fundraiser, I think that happened down here at the Hot Rod Stadium. And I I had no idea the sacrifice that a professional ball player makes, and they're all pretty good at what they do. It's
Yeah.
just some can't wait that long for it to finally get their break,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just, it just shocked me that even though you're really good at something, I guess I don't want to discourage any little ball player out there that wants to dream up and be a major
Yeah.
league, but just you've got to be committed because you've got to work it and you got to stay dedicated to it. And
It's a grind.
so,
Think about it. We have 66 home games, and they have another 66 on the road. So 132 game season plus playoffs plus spring training before that.
Right.
So that commits 9 months out of the year to baseball. And at the time previously prior to COVID, and they had a CBA agreement. As it was at a very low income.
Wow.
Now they've kind of really modified that, and they're getting paid year round, except for 6 weeks out of the year,
right.
Which is basically Thanksgiving to Christmas, and it's basically a dead period. A lot of these guys didn't get signing bonuses.
Right.
Some of them did. We've had a player with a $7.4 million signing bonus, so
right.
he's pretty well off.
Right.
But we've also had guys that are undrafted. They get a $5,000 signing bonus.
Yeah,
and that's nothing.
So they made all these sacrifices. Yeah, just so crazy story. I just never. It just brought it to surface for me. So just had no idea. And maybe all sports are that way. There's so many dreams out there and so many people that want them. But it's I guess some of it's politics, some of it's luck, some of it's dedication, hard. It's all hard work.
It is.
Just
and the reward's there though. I mean, you see the contracts that these players sign, and Major League Baseball is the only league without a salary cap. For now, we'll see if that changes or not. But when you're able to, excel at this game, and you're going to get rewarded from a monetary standpoint, and you see these absurd contracts of players signing for $400 million, like those are generational talents,
right?
That you don't see every day, but
prodigies maybe.
Yeah, but you can you can capitalize on your skill set in the game.
So out of the whole, from the internship to now, what are some of the parts of the business that you're like, are you kidding me? That just like complete 360 what you thought it was going to be?
Yeah, the biggest misconception is obviously the time and hours that go into it. It's a long season. We're April to September, but also changing the dynamic of the special event side also, brought on more hours too, but it became a profitable side of the business for us.
Right.
And the big thing is the community aspect.
Right.
A lot of them are strictly community events that we do. And, when the ballpark was built in 2009, it was, first part of revitalization of downtown, but they wanted it to be a community pillar.
Right.
And I think we've done a really good job at that. And, I think from, starting as an intern, I wasn't working all the hours that I am now.
Right.
But now running it, I got to be there all the time. And, it's everybody's life circumstances are different. And, mine allow me to do that and be present and so forth. And it's been a very rewarding experience, and especially to grow my young staff and individuals with that too. So,
and then see them transition into other opportunities. So it's awesome. Kind of like the leadership side, maybe of baseball, the organizational side, careers there too. A lot of opportunity probably.
There is, yeah. I mean, you think about 120 minor league baseball teams, so there's a lot of transition throughout the years, but it also allows you to transition to different sport, different things like that. So when you're looking at those opportunities, and even not necessarily sports, we've had several just get out of sports, but even several that have gone to college sports, and obviously with as many universities as there are, there's always opportunities.
Yeah, collegiate programs. So do like all the stats, all the ball players? Are you like one of those guys that can be,
I keep up with really current roster, because I got to see the guys all the time.
Yeah,
when I go down the clubhouse and make sure I can put a name to the face, and so forth. And we've seen some really good ones come through, and obviously some not so good ones. But it's the nature of the business. That's why they have the farm system.
So what about the turf management? Are you involved in that? I mean, how do they get this green grass?
Yeah, we have a really amazing groundskeeper, Matt Hill. He does a great job.
Yeah.
He's been with us for 3.5 now, almost 4 years.
Yeah, Matt Hill.
Yeah,
I recognize the name.
And he worked for the Tampa Bay Rays previously, and we had an opportunity available, and took it and really kind of ran with it.
Wow.
It was first time running the show per
Yeah.
se on the field by himself, and
Yeah.
there was a learning curve to start, but he's done a great job with that. And
Fantastic.
right now, our field's in the best shape that it's ever been in.
Yeah.
So.
It
And the
looks
Rays,
beautiful.
and that's the biggest thing. You know, we have 3 customers. Our main customer is Tampa Bay Rays. That's why we're here. That's why we exist.
Yep.
And you know, for them to be excited every time they come in, when the officials from the Rays come in, they're like, the field's awesome. This is
Right.
great. And that's what we want. And,
that's great.
you know, with our owner, we want to be the best.
So you guys have like a meeting room up there. A lot of people don't know about. If you've never been up there, they have a facility where they can maybe 300-400 people. Maybe not that big.
Probably about 200 was kind of pushing it, but the Performance Food Service Club upstairs on the suite level, and you know, we do special events there throughout the year. We also sell tickets for games and book group outings in there too.
So it's tickets. So what is it? What's going on in that? When the game's going on, is that like a VIP club?
It's for anybody that has access in the suites. They have access there. We sell individual tickets there. We have season tickets, but it's more of a restaurant style menu up there versus downstairs is your generic concession.
Because I was like, what's going on in this meeting room? Or it doesn't look like that. It looks like I don't know what, like a hall, not an auditorium, but sort of that feel in there. And I'm like, oh, I just didn't even know it was there. I've been to the suites before, but I've never been to this room. And then but that's pretty cool. So, but you can walk around, and if you're in a suite, you have access to this room, which is
full service bar. Yeah, like I said, restaurant style menu, air conditioned seating, and so forth. So,
but the suites are nice up there. We've seen a couple of different shows up there, and it's just and they wait on you pretty good. It's kind of neat to have that treatment every once in a while.
Yeah.
So. Awesome. So you did your internship. So what do you think the hot rod? What do you think they're going to be in like 10 years? Do you think?
You know, it's hard to say. Major League Baseball is wanting to do some expansion. So you see how that plays out. And then you see how the dominoes fall after that. Ideally, you know, Bowling Green is continuing to grow, and that's great to see. We love growth. And hopefully, you know, that means more attendance for us. I think we do very well in attendance for being the smallest market in minor league baseball. Wow. You know, for being that small, but to draw over 140,000 fans each year, I think is a very good accomplishment. You know, it's a credit to our sales team, our marketing team, and, you know, the rest of the front office that puts on a great show each year that allows, you know, these rewarding experiences to happen at the ballpark.
So I guess it was very controversial back in the day when they were talking about this with ballpark. It's just an idea, you know, would it benefit downtown? And there's a lot of people that don't like change, but I think all in all, it's done exactly what they thought it would do. And I mean, it's a huge contribution to downtown. And then, you know, Marion and the Sky Properties and these other people that have built buildings down there. I mean, I'm proud that Bowling Green downtown. I mean, it's neat with the little corridor with some restaurants down there. We get some variety there, and then you got the just Sky Pack. They're growing, and they're going to add on, and so this little bitty community has these great benefits with the ballpark, and so
you go to a lot of these different cities of our stature, of our size, and you realize how lucky we have it in downtown. And I think it's a testament to our city officials that have really believed in the vision and kind of stuck with that and wanted to see it continue to grow. And then obviously, you know, with plans of the riverfront projects that are coming through to expand that footprint for it. But, you know, we're happy to be involved in any way we can with our community, and especially downtown.
So why Bowling Green? How did the hot rods? I don't know the story of why they chose Bowling Green. What was it?
So from what I recall previously, it was a conversation with city officials of like, you know, we've seen teams and markets do this, they have this, and it brings a value. And so they looked into building a ballpark. And then at that point, you build a ballpark, you got to find a team to fill it. And the Tampa Bay Rays were, our affiliation at the time was in Columbus, Georgia. And that ballpark was starting to run down, and the Rays were looking for a new home. And we're able to get involved with the ownership that was basically renting the ballpark per se. Because the way the structure is, the county and the city own the ballpark, and we run the business and operation on the inside of it. And the original owner, Art Solomon, I guess had a connection with the Rays and had a conversation with them and like, hey, we're building a ballpark. Would you guys be interested in relocating the team, but be involved in the process of building the ballpark and, laying out the layout of the field and so forth. And the Rays really enjoyed that. Their big thing was that at the time with our affiliation, we were in the low A spot where Charleston is. And this was the first stop on the player's career where it was their first full season in baseball.
Oh, wow.
And living on their own. And so they were like, what a great community for them to, really learn how to live on their own.
Right.
We're talking anywhere from 17, 18-year-old kids, 21-year-old kids that have never been on their own. So it allowed them to grow as an individual. And that's what they've seen Bowling Green grow, and they really enjoy having the players come here.
Yeah. So great draw for downtown businesses. So I spent some time in Atlanta. I started a landscape company here when I was in college, and I did that for like 14, 15 years. And when I was about 37, I transferred to Atlanta. I got recruited to be an area manager down there for like a $25 million landscape company. And so one of our customers was the Atlanta Braves. So we didn't take care of the stadium. We took care of all the parking areas around it. So I'd been there about 6 months, and I thought I was just killing it. We had so much, we would spray for weed. We would have a sunburn on our arm where we were holding the weed sprayer out the window of the truck and just spraying weed, because there's a bunch of old parking lots downtown, the old stadium. And so then I got a call one day, and they're like, they came out, long story short, I bet you the Atlanta stadium owned probably 49 parking lots.
Yeah.
Some were big, some were small. All of them had to be taken care of. But I just could not believe how many parking. I mean, you can't fathom how big of a program that is. But when there's a game there, it can go over the top. And they had the plates marked, the Hank Aaron home run plate, in the old stadium. So I think it made me appreciate that level, I guess, that I'd never seen before. And then we would see the players pull in, at practice and stuff because we were exposed to that.
Yeah.
And you guys have the same thing. So when I drive by and I see where the players park and stuff, I'm sitting there thinking about, when they make the big leagues one day, they're going to have all that. So it's just kind of cool. It's a great looking park, and they take care of it. They take care of Bowling Green. And so awesome. So we're glad that your journey has been as successful as it is, and that everybody knows about the hot rods. It's anything that you would like to see happen in particular down there, other than maybe good talent?
I mean, we've been pretty blessed. The Rays have a really strong minor league system.
Right.
Winning a championship 4 out of the last 6 seasons.
That is true.
Has been great. Obviously, I'd love to see us continue to win more.
Right.
We've put 115 players that have come through Bowling Green that have made their major league debut, as well as 2 radio broadcasters and a manager. So
I didn't think about that. Sports broadcasters?
Sports broadcasters.
Right.
They've made their major league debut.
Was it Caden Ledford? Who was that? The Wildcat, big sportscaster, announcer?
Wasn't him. But we had Alex Cohen with the Cubs.
Yeah.
And then Shaun Miller with the Kansas City Royals. So
I always thought that'd be a neat career. They get all excited. Oh, going, folks. And it's, so wow. Great. It's love seeing the hot rods here. Their success. I wonder how they got the name Hot Rods. Did somebody pick that, or did they vote it in? Or what?
So it was a vote when the team was coming to town, but the idea is pay tribute to Holley Automotive, General Motors, being right here in our backyard. Paying homage to the car industry that Bowling Green's known for.
Great piece of information there.
Yeah.
I remember my grandfather. He'd, come here, Hot Rod. Even, that was just a nickname or a slang term. Yeah. So I always wondered how they did that. So
and then the rest of them, the alternate identities that we play as, like the Bowling Green Bootleggers, the Bowling Green Cavemen, the different Bowling Green Hot Dogs, like different monikers that we can play with throughout the year.
Yeah,
that goes into kind of the entertainment aspect and the fun that you can have at the ballpark.
So wow. So do you guys? Will you sell season tickets and you have single game tickets, and then so you got pretty good sales on that?
We do.
Do you get like extra ticket if you buy them like all at one time? Or?
So it's a discounted price point. So we have several different packages ranging from, it really kind of varies on how many games you want to come to,
right?
How many people you're bringing to the game, right. The great thing with our ticket packages is that, we bundle them based on that. So like we have a 6-game pack, we have an 11 or 12 game pack, 23, 33, and then the full season.
Right.
But with those, like we have a flexible exchange policy. So if you look at your ticket and be like, oh, I forgot to use this ticket, as long as it's unused, you can swap it out.
Oh, wow.
Or, say it's a family of 2 and you come to 6 games, you buy a 12-game pack and swap those tickets out in advance. Great. And then, you're buying that at a discounted price point,
right,
versus paying the day of price point.
So the renewals are pretty good. The people that tend to own these tickets, they keep continuing to use the tickets over and over.
So our renewal rate is very, very good. And, new ticket sales, we have new buyers all the time. And we love celebrating those, and having, new fans at the ballpark each year.
Yeah.
Last year we had people from 42 different states.
Yes.
It was 670 zip codes that, came to Bowling Green Ballpark and experienced Hot Rods baseball.
Wow.
And that's just for baseball. And then you throw the festivals in that we do with Bourbon and Brew Fest, Tequila and Tacos.
That's true.
That expands that because it's a different demographic,
right,
for that.
Awesome. Pretty good food from what I've had. They have some unique seating arrangements around, it's not all about sitting in a bleacher chair or a close-up chair. So it's an experience, and that's what you guys want it to be. So.
Yeah, and it's the family affordable experience. Your tickets start at $12. It's very affordable, for a family of 4. And then even with some of our ticket packages, we have a Roscoe's Rookies program that's $35 for kids 12 and under. Right. They get a ticket to every single game.
Oh, no kidding.
So, that makes it so affordable for your family, especially if you have a couple kids.
Yeah.
Then you can come to the ballpark.
Get to see all your buds at the baseball game and talk about it, run around. And awesome. We are so grateful that you're here visiting with us today, and I'm so glad that we learned about the history and why they're called the Hot Rods, that there's different price points for our tickets, that we can buy multiple tickets, and just hope that this thing continues moving forward and growing, and keep up what you're doing. And thank you.
Yeah,
I'm glad to have you on our show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Kyle Walls, he is COO and General Manager of the Hot Rod, and we look forward to seeing you again in the future. And thanks for joining us today, viewers, and we'll see you again next time.